Mr. Eggplant presents...
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey guys, Tyler here. Thanks for checking out my video. And in this video, we're going to continue our streak of Mythic Plus videos here on the channel. And this one is a +10 Waycrest Manor. And I know I am anxiously awaiting the new raid to drop here in a couple weeks. And also, with that comes the new season of Mythic Plus, which it's really exciting because they just released what the new +10 affix will be. And let me tell you, I'm really liking the Bwansamdi-esque things that they're going to be doing. So be looking forward to the second season videos coming here in a couple weeks. But to get down to this video here, and by the way, this is the second to last video that I will be doing with Recount up there in the corner. I had already recorded these videos, and this will be the second to last one. And then I will start using details for all of my damage meter needs. So I'm really excited to change that for you guys. So for group, as we get started here, as I almost die, because I mean we've got some fun affixes this week. So first off, we do have Fortified, which of course is all of the ads have more health. And by the way, there was a cut there just because I had some of my film, whatever you want to call it, get kind of corrupted there, so I had to do some cutting, so I apologize for that. But we do have Sanguine, i.e. when they die, they drop a blood pool damages you, heals other things, etc., etc. We also have Grievous, which is, this is a huge week for healers. You'll find out if you have a good healer, that's for sure, as I'm just running there through the blood. But we do have JB as our healer. He's always a good healer. We have him on his Druid. It's a Resto Druid, of course. Let's see. We have Glitchy on his Bear Tank. Then we have myself as Marksman, of course. We have Zaft on his Ret Pally, even though he's undead right now. It kind of messed with me for a while. And then we have Peony as... what is he's on his looks like he's on a rogue, but he's actually on his kitty druid. So two of the lowest represented classes in the game currently for Mythic Plus, i.e. Marksman Hunters and Feral Druids, are both represented quite well in this video. So we're just getting ready to get up to the first boss here, and the build I'm running is my Unerring Visions build. Which is pretty much running with 3 of those Azurite traits. Going forward in Season 2, I will still be running with the 3 Unerring Visions, but I will also be able to, thanks to the next ring that we get, I will also be running with In the Rhythm, Surging Shots, or Focused Fire. Whichever one of those I can get will be the ones that I will be running, which will only increase our damage in Raid, and will also only increase our damage in Mythic Plus, especially with, you know, so many of these dungeons being heavy, you know, ad-based dungeons, much like this one and Motherlode.
And I'm not doing a great job at putting them.
So we're just getting ready here to plan out our pulls because we kind of just did this one on the fly. We weren't exactly sure what we should be pulling, what was going to be infested, what wasn't. So we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. And I don't think I mentioned it earlier. Unfortunately, we do not time this one. You'll hear why. We had several things happen. We had one guy have a fire in his apartment. There was one thing. JB had like 2 work calls in the middle of it, so you'll hear that as well. Okay, you won't hear that. I'll cut that out. But you'll hear the aftermath of that. And then we just had some just random happenings. So unfortunately, we don't time it, but we do get some rings at the end of the dungeon, which will be good for some people, especially JB, who has his music box.
I guess things are dying a little quicker.
And as Glitch is finding out, we have some really good AoE damage in this group. Okay, my damage is doing pretty good down there, but like overall, our groups was really good at AoE, which was nice, and he wasn't actually expecting that for a lot of things. So It's both a blessing and a curse. So as a marksman hunter, which is the primary reason you guys are watching this video, especially on weeks like this, well, I mean, any week really, you always want to be misdirecting. Now, on weeks that are skittish, I usually don't lead with it. I wait till the tank starts having problems with aggro, and then I will pop it on it then.
Trying to avoid a wretch.
So on these, we just want to make sure and not get hit by the Gorgers when they're doing their Ren type ability, and then you want to interrupt the dinner bell. And you want to stay. First off, these are really close quarters, so you don't want to get hit by any of the AOE there. But then also you want to watch your Grievous stacks. So as you can see right now, I have 4, and it hurts. Luckily, JB was keeping me up just enough to where, unfortunately, it didn't drop off, but yet I wasn't dying either. So, going forward, if I would have done this again, I would have been running with my leech pet here, as we do pull this section here, this group of monsters and enemies. But I would be running with my leech pet here just to help out with healing. You see, everybody else in here is going to be in melee range, which looks like I do bring out my pet here just to keep alive, just because you can see I am pulled away from the group because there's already enough junk up there the way it is. So I am just cleaving off of the healthiest enemy as we continue to mow them down. So we do have obviously infested here, and unfortunately that one does infest one of the piglets. But we do have the infested affix. Always want to drop a freezing trap, maybe to help out. Unfortunately, it didn't. But luckily for us as a marksman hunter, we can stand way the heck back, and we don't have to worry about getting hit by anything, which is nice. As long as we don't outrange our healer or make it hard on our healer, which JB knows that I tend to stand back a little ways, which was a nice Ursol's Vortex there, pushed him up against the wall, so we were able to kill the spawns of Cahoon, no problem. But as long as, especially if you're in a group of people you know, as long as they understand how you play, I mean, there's no reason why we can't, you know, stand wherever we want to stand. Assuming you're not dying and assuming, you know, you're not missing out on heals, that's right. But as you can see, everybody up there is almost dead. I'd prefer not to be almost dead. And luckily for us, since we were so far away, so obviously we're ranged, we were able to live during this little skirmish here, and ended up not dying, and doing the most damage in the process, because you know, DPS that live do the most damage. We'll just finish up this infected peasant, and then we'll move in here to the first boss. I believe we have one, maybe 2 pulls left in the room before we get to the first boss. And unfortunately, I told you guys the reasons we didn't chest, or didn't do it in time, I should say. But we also were really slow at these initial pulls. And going forward, we now know how to deal with it. And then in you know, Season 2, we won't have to worry about that as much with the new affix, because we don't have to worry about the spawns of Cahoon. But you can see there that JB flexed his healer muscles, kept 3 of the 5 alive, enough to complete the pull.
No, that's totally.
So he's gonna go pull those out of the room, back over into here. Luckily for us, that these guys go down fairly quickly because they are not elites, but they also get DPS fairly equally. As you can see me there, that's the one nice thing about Sanguine. If you can time it right and DPS them equally, you don't have to worry about Sanguine at all. You just don't want to stand in like the death pool. So they all died there pretty quickly.
Okay, never mind. They got
but you like you found out, you definitely don't want to stand in that 3-stack pool for really at all. Unfortunately, I did drop that in there. I didn't think they were going to pull them into here. That's just you know, my bad. I should have been paying attention to where they were going to put the pull. And that was just a really bad pull for me, just because that was me being out of position. And so I know a lot of people have left comments on the videos, and I do appreciate that, guys. I love doing these. I'm not going to say that I'm some amazing player by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I'm a clicker, right? Garbage. But I just want to show you guys can still do well in WoW and in Mythic Plus or in raiding and not be like the 100% player.
Yeah, a little bit.
So we'll go ahead and pull the first boss here. Now that we got that, want to get the hunter's mark on him, and we're going to lust from the beginning and do our opening rotation that we do in raid. Make sure not get hit by that. And also, I have been doing a lot better job of using my true shot on cooldown. I know in a couple of my previous videos, I've noted that I hadn't been using it because I was actually used to the way it was before, where it wasn't that big of a deal. But I wasn't using it on trash either, because they lowered the cooldown. I'll make sure and go and turtle there so I didn't have to move. Get my cancel aura out there.
I can Ursol's the one back right.
Okay.
And Typhoon. Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine.
I tried to call him, my bad.
I got a stance.
Any that gets close, I'll Typhoon.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it, is what I'm hearing.
But I didn't want to mess up, boss pulls by not having it up. But yet I was also missing out on free uses of it for trash, especially when trash is important, like this week with it being fortified.
I mean, like during some of those pulls. Because I know I got Harry for one of them.
So on this, we can just pretty much, the call is to stay on boss because he can die before anything gets to him. And the one nice thing about weeks that the boss, or the should say the ads are buffed and not the boss, is that I can turn around and just pop those guys. Since they are part of the boss, they do get a health increase from Tyrannical, and just like two-shot them.
Oh, tell me I didn't get that infested.
So one boss down here. Unfortunately, like I said, not making time, but we're not doing too bad. We have about 3/4 of the place left to go. Do you want to interrupt the effigy reconstruction there? That unfortunately it did go out, but we were on cooldown. I probably shouldn't have been though. I probably interrupted the wrong thing. I believe I interrupted one of the poison barbs, just because it is annoying as well. So any interrupt is good. Just unfortunately, the one that heals his little ad there didn't get interrupted.
Trying to put that right there.
Back up here, make sure we don't get hit by that.
I might,
and like I was saying, I'm trying to do a lot better job of using my true shot cooldown effectively, especially like I was saying, to where it was dropped from 3 minutes to 2 minutes, and then the way our build works, we can get it down to about 85 seconds or so. So if you can have true shot up every 85 seconds, you're going to be doing a buttload of damage, because we get crit, just passive crit from every tick of true shot. And if you can really use that to your advantage, we're just going to do absolutely absurd amount of damage. So I should have been here on the Thorn Shaper. I was not. I was too worried about the spawns of Cahoon, which I can't tell if we got that. Looks like one of the hounds is infested. So you want to make sure and stay on the Thorn Shaper here. That way it does not re-heal. We also want to take out the spawns of Cahoon, which this wasn't our best pull by any stretch of the imagination. But we did figure out that, hey, maybe we should use this entire empty room that we now have. It was the boss room. So we work on the spawns of Cahoon there.
There's still a spawn.
Yep, we had a lot of them in there, unfortunately. Luckily, though, we did manage to get them all pushed back thanks to that well-timed Typhoon by Glitchy. And the Thorn Shaper, unfortunately, was stunned in the Sanguine Pool, which in turn healed her, which was not very good.
No, it was the two infested that worried me.
But this is one of the last pulls we need to get to the second boss. That's the one nice thing, where you can just go from one boss pretty much right to the next. So unfortunately, I have to run through that because I did not want to spend any more time in those Sanguine Pools. I had to. So we want to make sure and pull the Thorn Shapers, not with the quote mini boss there, just because she does absolutely large amounts of damage. And there's no...
Back
Oh,
calculation, you know?
I forgot that
No.
happened. And then he actually gets knocked back. Didn't pull anything, though. That could have been a wipe. So that's one thing for you guys. You always want to make sure and know what's behind you. And, of course, what's in front of you. You want to know your surroundings. Because otherwise you can pull things, which you've seen a couple times in this video, that can wipe your group. It didn't wipe us, but it probably should have, unless we were, you know, on the ball. So this boss, or not this boss, this quote mini boss here, first off, has a lot of health. Second of all, I've noticed that they changed some of its abilities. So whenever it shoots the little spike up like it is now, it doesn't show you the little brown circle on the ground anymore. So you just basically have to move after the cast is over with, because it will pick obviously where you're standing. And I don't know if that happened in 8.1. I don't remember it happening beforehand. See, so there used to be a brown circle on the ground there, and now there's nothing. So it looks like you just need to remember where you were standing or where somebody else was standing. Continue to get some good damage in on her. We're doing like what, 40% of the group's damage as a marksman hunter. I like that. Really shows that marksmen can hold their own. And by the way, this has been an AoE pull. I'm in a single target spec technically, but that's one thing I really like, and that's one thing I liked about Legion, was that I was able to find a spec that I didn't need to switch at all. So as you can see there, I did pull out my pet just because... Come on, pet, get out there and attack. Just because I know there's going to be a lot of damage going on. There's going to be a lot of movement. That's the one downfall, as I get stunned here with the thorns, is that marksman is terrible on the move most of the time. Well, the one nice thing about having a pet is there's at least always damage going out on the boss, so you don't have to worry about you doing the damage as much. But also, this particular pet has leech, which this is one of those fights where I get picked out for thorns a lot. I think it may just go on ranged. I don't know, because I think JB and myself get it every time. And that's why I should have been standing a little bit closer together. I should have been standing on JB there, since otherwise there's no real AoE abilities that we should be watching out for. Yeah, that's the third one in a row. You have to worry about the grievous wounds as well. Luckily for me, Zaft saved the day out there with his blessing there. And as you can see, I'm finally starting to learn, and I think this is where it chooses JB. So it looks like it might just choose now the farthest character away from the boss. I could be wrong, but just watching this after the fact, it looks like it's always picking the farthest person away. So as we can continue to finish the boss down here, use our True Shot, which it did pick me again. Unfortunately, it picked me while I was using True Shot, but that just means whenever I come out of it, I'm just going to be able to do non-stop crits. So those 52.8k crits are really nice. And, you know, if you have a couple of seconds left in your True Shot window and you do not have an aim shot that you can use, there's no reason why you can't use your Arcane Shot or your Rapid Fire, because those things, they all crit. They all do a lot of damage.
All the skis are gonna hurt. I'll watch the
So on these, there's not a captain in this pull, but by the way, if there was a Blood Elf up there, they should have been taking out the buff that they get that is dispellable. There's not really a need, it just makes it a little bit easier. But whenever there is a captain in the group, we always want to make sure and interrupt their spectral defense. You'll hear JB call out. I always take the first one, just because I have the longest interrupt CD, where mine is 24 seconds when a lot of other people's, other than like a Boomkin, is a little bit shorter than that.
Was not aware.
So you can see me, the captain is actually just went up the stairs there, so we do have to watch out for that. But I am on the Bewitched Captain first. I interrupt the Spirited Defense. That's pretty much the only thing as of note that you should be able to get rid of, especially as a marksman hunter. Really easy for us to just be attacking them and then immediately interrupt that. That did get interrupted there. That was a little close that they might not have got it, but we did. And I will say the Infested hasn't been terrible this run. That's the one downfall that we didn't time it, was that we had some pretty good Infested this week in this dungeon. We have another captain coming down this way, and just keep in mind there is a captain on these stairs to our left, and they will come down, and I believe they do get pulled. You're gonna see them come up to in my line of vision here very quickly here, and I'll hightail it out of there. Unfortunately, not everybody was as lucky. So I backed up that way that they wouldn't get pulled. Unfortunately, they got pulled. So we got a call for personals from JB there. So he's going to continue to stay on the captain because they are healing, and that is a really bad pull. This probably should have been a wipe. So I'll just continue to just get as much damage out there as possible, just because when there is an infested, it does heal everything else. So I'll run in there, I'll get rid of all the shields from the captains, and then we can get to work on the infested.
All the stuff moved away, so I'm actually going to use the horn. Frenzied region.
So the captain there that was on the stairs was the one that is infested. We're finishing that up. So that one's down. Get rid of the spawns of him.
Yeah, I'm out of tricks.
And he's out of tricks, he says.
Got that interrupt. Moving further away.
So just continue to kite them, because that's really all you can do. We'll get back on the the captain. Excuse me, I couldn't think of the name. Because that one is the one that has spirited defenses. Unfortunately, like he said, it did go out, but we were able to deal with it just fine. They just take less damage. So I am using my steady shot so I can get a couple of abilities off there. That's the one thing I try to do, is that I try to use it just enough to get like 2 aim shots off, or an aim shot and a couple of arcane shots. That way, I'm on fire. Don't get in fire, Tyler. But I do that so I can do a couple of different abilities at once to kind of raise my DPS. I try to make the peaks higher and the lulls or the valleys lower. It doesn't always work though. Finally, that one goes down. We are getting closer to the end of the dungeon. We just got to go downstairs now. We have cleared through back to the front, sort of, in the gallery. So it just stated there.
Well, that was a fun pull. We still need 4%, so we're...
Oh, excuse me. We still have the sisters. Oh.
We'll have the guys to the left, right?
I completely forgot about that. So we did have to go upstairs here.
Go upstairs? Yeah.
We'll go up the stairs because we do have to get to the sisters, the coven, whatever they're called. The Triad. There we go. Thank you, Dungeon Helper. We'll take out these ravens. Here comes the 2 soul charmers. Make sure Glitchy can pick those up before we really start doing some damage on them. Yeah, like you said, they do drop aggro, the ravens, pretty easily, so I want to make sure and allow him to get as much as possible before he starts losing.
Okay, that's not a horrible... Thank you for trying, though. I'm not sure how
so on this would have been a good time to use my true shot, just because she's still pretty healthy, and by the time we would have used it again. But that's just a small nitpick. It's not like we needed it to kill her. So obviously avoiding the candles, like Glitch stated there. That's the one thing, is that I don't know a ton of tanking these because I've never tanked. I've never healed them either. So it's really nice that they know what to be looking out for, and they know the dungeons pretty well. So since we didn't use it that last time, I did go ahead and use it this time. Use that with our double tap to pull a lot of aggro with our 47k DPS there.
Try not
Just make sure we're not in the pools, and we want to DPS these down
They don't look
about
like
as
they're
even as
moving.
possible.
They're not.
So working on the sister here, and then I'm switching over to the disciple, and I do go ahead and let them know that in Discord. That way it heals, but not by much, and then they're out.
Should skip the patrol if we can.
So up and over here we go.
Do we
We'll
wanna do
pull
both
the
sides?
right side. We don't end up clearing the left side because there's not really a need for it.
Oh, this one is.
So make sure and get the misdirect on him there.
Oh,
And on this type of pull, I just focus on the acolyte. I know that there's one that is an infested mob in there. Probably should have just been on it. But that did allow me to cleave on everything and then pick out the spawns of Gahoon. Because as you can see, that spawn is currently stuck against the wall, which is really nice.
You take care
Yep,
of
and
that
just
spawn?
pop that off, as I am the only ranged. And the one nice thing, as you can see, our true shot is up and ready to go for the boss, because this boss is normally one that sucks. Nobody likes this place because of this boss. However, it's not on. I can never think tyrannical. I want to say victorious for some reason. I know that's not right. But on tyrannical, the sisters suck. Like they are not fun. But I did pull out my pet, and we did decide to go ahead and wait to Bloodlust until the first mind control. So we're just working on Selena there, and it's me. I should have been a little bit closer, especially since I would have probably used my disengage, which my character did do.
Or not Snagling, Grievous stacks on you like that. That's cool.
Bloodlust? Yeah.
Oh, and that was something too, that it started putting Grievous stacks right away whenever I was mind controlled. That's kind of really crappy. But on this one, obviously the first one is the mind control, the first sister I should say. The second one is the you can't move, or you have to keep moving. Then the third one is don't kill yourself, because she reflects damage, or I should say you take damage every time you attack her. Just want to make sure, and you can just interrupt her Bramble Bolt if you want. A lot of people end up not. And then we just go cycle back to Selena, and then she will be doing her her ability, which is the mind control. And so I did wait to use my true shot until after she had picked her target, because that's the last thing you want, is to lose it because of being mind controlled. So just use it on Milady here, so we continue to move. I did take the opportunity to try to get one aim shot off there really quick. And the one nice thing is that they don't have a ton of health. They just have about 1 million apiece, but they are 1 million health of annoying. So down goes that sister there, and then down goes Briar. And I will get rid of the pet, and then we will head downstairs.
78. We need to do 1 pack, you said?
Yeah, we only need 82%. No, 82.
We're trying to figure out percent-wise. We are at 78. Need 82 to go downstairs. So we do have to pull a few things here. Unfortunately, people keep shutting this door.
I'm waiting for Matron.
It's never fun for people.
Sort of rogue would be really nice.
It's kind of cool that they have, like actual doors in here, but it is also very annoying. We'll work on the soul essence there, and you're going to hear Glitch was like, hey, I'm just going to go over here in the corner, and then forgetting the fact that that also line of sights from your healer.
It's better
So it's
than,
maybe not as good.
Hole of spawns of Gahoon.
But it does put the Gahoon spawns in a nice spot. And we didn't die, so who cares?
What is this?
So we'll finish off the Coven,
Fuck.
Alright,
Coven, whatever. Diviner here.
you're right, though. I probably should have told you before. LOS.
No, that's part of the
Then
game,
head
man.
back
Especially
down.
Siege Borealis, man, that last boss. Yeah.
Grabbing Matron if I can.
So we're going to pull the big matron here. This is one of the other, what I affectionately call a mini boss,
Yeah,
just
cool
because,
down.
especially on these weeks, where Fortified gives her a lot of health. Get some damage on these. Get her down, no problem. The one downfall too is that the ads that are actually to our left, in the room to our left, if you put the one closest to us, if you sap them, if you CC them, if you freezing trap them, it shouldn't pull the group because you won't pull aggro. Unfortunately, we didn't. I call it out and I say, hey, this is what I'm going to do this, but then they end up trying to sneak by there anyway. But it happened. That's all right. So on this one, we would stay on the captain because it's still like the captain's, like the entire dungeon. Want to make sure and interrupt that. Unfortunately, somebody did beat me to it, but that's all right. As long as they don't get it out again. Which JB has an add-on that tells everybody, or tells him what everybody's cooldown is left if they have it up, that sort of thing, which is really nice, especially if he's going to be leading the Mythic Plus, which this one he was.
Okay. Switch, you're next.
Got to get that Raider IO up, as they say.
Also gonna toss out a survival just because damage. That was me.
I'm pretty sure they'll probably reset Raider IO for season 2. I'm guessing, but I think mine's just over 800. Like I said, it's nothing special. I've only done 10s. I do a 10 every week. A lot of the times we don't time it. But you know, we're just here to get our 380 free low item pretty much. And somehow we had these guys pull from Zaft somehow. I don't know what he would have done, but we couldn't figure it out. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. And I did pull aggro on here, and as you hear, that is one of the reasons why we didn't time this. For this entire time, Zaft, I believe it was Zaft, was having like a fire in his apartment building, complex, house. Clearly it was an apartment, but yeah, so he's got this maybe large inferno in the other room, but he's like, we have a Mythic Plus to do, guys. We have to keep going. So that's one reason why he doesn't talk very much in this, just because he hears this going on the entire time.
I'm concerned for your
And we have other people in the Discord that's like, we're worried more about your health and well-being than worrying about WoW right now. But that just one of the random things that happens in Mythic Plus. Like at the very beginning of this video, I thought it would be kind of cool to put JB's cat would just be like, someone would say WoW, and he has his sound going through his speakers, so then the cat's just like, wow, wow. So we could pretty much just put a picture of Owen Wilson up there and call it good. But we have got a minute and 45 left before we're going to not complete it in time, but whatever. We've had a couple of stoppages already, and then as soon as this pull gets over with, JB has a call from work, which we again have a stoppage as well. But you know, that's life. It happens. We're not too terribly upset about it.
Call from work. Are you guys okay if we just sit for a second?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Finish up the Soul Charmer here, then we'll get right on to the dual boss, I guess you could call it.
How can we do some of those beginner pulls better?
Then unfortunately got the cut there. I was on Facebook. I had no idea that we were going to pull. Bad Tyler, bad Hunter. Because they had said it in chat, and I was like, oh, they'll say it whenever, they'll say it in voice, and they didn't. And that was completely my bad. I didn't miss too much of it. I just happened to heard Lady Waycrest start talking. I was like, oh crap, what's going on? Oh, we're pulling. But this boss is extremely easy, especially this week. Whenever it's on Tyrannical, it's a lot harder just because she just has an absurd amount of health. At plus 10, she has over 10 million. Obviously, she loses health when Lord Waycrest, I cannot talk today. Whenever he loses health, she takes out of her health. But she just has so much health. It just takes so long, and that's one of the reasons like why people won't time this one, just because her health is just obscenely large for no reason.
You saw that, right? He like meleeed you, I think.
So we got both of them over here now.
Like
That way we didn't bloodlust on this one just so we can save it for the last boss. And you always want to focus Lord Waycrest, kill him, and then focus on her. Because even though she has what you would appear to be next to no health, her health pool, when it's that low, is the same as his when it's full. So you want to just get rid of him. So down they go. Only 1:49 there. It was actually a pretty good time saver, actually, from our previous record. So we've just got Gorek in the other room here, and then the ads to get up to him. We are at 95%, which is enough to, after you beat all the Gloom Horrors, to finish with 100%. So these horrors are really annoying just because they all jump around. So I wanted to make sure and be within melee range. And then whenever they do jump around, they die. Unfortunately, you have to be careful of the sanguine blood pools that they drop. But luckily, we're all smart enough to just stick together. And then you want to bring the horrors the farthest that way as possible, as we were going straight there, going north, I guess. So that way you don't accidentally pull and get blood with the next pack. So JB wants to make sure and pull both packs, so he will always go over there and just grab them all. Then we'll just AoE them down. And this was me being able to use my true shot, because there's a lot of minions there, and it's a lot of needs to be in front of you, Tyler. There you go. A lot of chances to lower the cooldown of our true shot again. Almost got one of them down, which means they're going to drop a sanguine pool. But damage-wise, we're doing pretty well. We're #1 in the group so far. And as you can see, the true shot cooldown, or what's left of it, just continues to whittle down every time we use that arcane shot. So we have 50 seconds left. So it's going to be approximately 45 by the time we get to the boss. Probably we'll have it up in 25 or 30. So we got the boss there. Want to put a hunter's mark on there. We're going to pull out our pet as well, which will be the lust pet, obviously.
Right. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
I'll get the candles or flames or whatever.
All right, and in we go. And as you heard JB call out, that he will be worrying about candles, so we don't have to worry about that as much. We can continue to just kill the boss. So focus the slayers. You just don't want the death lens to go off because it stuns. He will throw the fire bombs on the slayers. That way we don't have to worry about them.
Oh, that's interesting.
And you just want to make sure and keep the boss interrupted. Then just switch to the slayers as much as possible. Take those out, then go right back to the boss. The one nice thing is that we do have our bloodlust still, and that we can all pretty much just stay in one central location. That way he can just drop his efflorescence under our feet, and GG.
Oh yeah.
So overall, as you can see there, left side, right next to the boss's health meter, we have his efflorescence up on the wall. That's so fun. Good job, Blizzard. Small indie company. Able to pull it off there really quick. But this was overall a pretty good run. Like I said, we didn't time, but we had a lot of extenuating circumstances, and it was overall a pretty fun run. We were able to get some rings out of it. We get 2, in fact, as you'll see here in approximately 10 seconds. Unfortunately, I didn't use mine. I believe JB got one, and maybe Peony got one as well.
Oh, got it. All right. No, I didn't.
And I forgot to say, item level, I believe, is 378 in this video. So I appreciate you guys watching. I do have a Twitch now if you guys want to check me out over there. It's twitch.tv/Mr. Eggplant, all one word. And I'll be doing some various videos on Twitch. Definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you got to this point and you haven't yet. I do post a lot of different content, and I will be doing live raids soon, along with my guides and other marksman hunter videos. So, until my next live stream or video, I'll see you guys later.